Are we live?
Yes, ma'am, we are live.
Okay, yeah. Hi guys, good evening everyone. I can see so many people waiting for the session. Yeah, that's the spirit, guys. Good, good, good. I'm just checking your messages. Good evening, everyone. Yes, good evening. Yes, this is going to be our last session for AWS Essentials. Yeah. Yes, I'm checking the chat box. Yes, I can see. Yes, we did have a project that was assigned yesterday. So make sure you submit it on time. Okay, any other messages? Yeah, yeah, good evening, good evening. Yes, let's begin. Everybody is like very much active in the group chat. Yeah, happy to see that. Okay, so yeah, I have a couple of announcements for you all guys. So we've been into this AWS Essentials training for the past 2 weeks. So this is our day 5. Okay, so here this will be our last session for AWS Essentials. So we everybody, I guess everybody is aware that you will have a exam. As an assessment has to be completed if you want to qualify for the certification. Okay, so for that, we have scheduled your exams on 28th of August. Okay, so it's going to be on Friday. Okay, so this Friday, you will be having your exam. So the timings for your exam would be 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. We will be on live at 11 a.m. We'll be assisting you. So if you want to take the exam at 11 p.m., you can always do that. Or if you want to take it at your comfortable time, you can feel free to do that as well. Okay, the exam links will be open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. on 28th August. That is Friday. That is coming Friday. Okay, so I know everybody have had an active participation in this session. We've had enormous response for, be it the attendance or be it the assignment submission. In all these cases, we've had enormous response, guys. So now it is time for you to, prove yourself and get yourself certified. Okay. So here, I don't want anybody to miss the exam. So, and another thing, so how, I mean, the details regarding this exam, the login ID, the password, and everything would be sent to you by email. Okay, the email communication will be definitely made to you. And if you have to receive this email notification regarding or with all the user credentials for taking up this exam, okay, so you should have first submitted all the assignments. So for the if when I say all the assignments, we have 3 assignments for AWS, which is project 1, working with Windows instances. I mean, deploying an web application in your Windows instance. Project 2 was working with your Linux instance. And then project 3 was on load balancer. Okay, so I want all these three projects to have been submitted. Okay, so that is the first thing. And then all your attendance has to be registered. Okay, so you should register your attendance. Then and also for this ELB project that we had given yesterday, this has to be submitted before 5 p.m. tomorrow, because you will have your exams on 28th. That's August. I mean 28th Friday. So it is. We need time to be sending your mails, okay, with all the user credentials for your exams. So we don't want to delay your submission dates. So make sure everybody submits your assignments before 5 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, that is mandatory. Okay, if you have to receive a mail with all your exam credentials, okay, so you have to have submitted all your projects, okay, as well as your attendance. Okay, so these two are mandatory. So make sure you do that on time. Then we'll keep you updated through an email communication with your login and login ID and your password for taking up your exam. Okay. Again, I'm stressing on this point. Your exam is scheduled on 28th August, Friday. Okay. And excuse me, guys. The time is 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Okay. And we will be assisting you probably from 11 a.m. Okay. We'll be on live and we'll be assisting you for some time. Okay. So you can take the exam at your comfort on Friday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then, yeah, regarding the project and assignment submissions, make sure you submit, yesterday's assignment on time. Okay, don't get delayed in that. I'm just checking your chat box, guys. Is there anything else to inform? Yes, today is going to be your last session, guys, for AWS Essentials. Okay, so regarding our AWS Advanced program, we will be launching our website and we'll keep you updated. Do check our website regularly for AWS Advanced program. Okay, so yes. So what you can expect from your AWS Advanced program? Just give me a minute, guys. Is my screen visible? Guys, can you see my screen? Yes, my screen is visible. So what you can expect from our AWS Advanced program. So we have, in this 5 days class, we have talked a lot about the different services that is offered by Amazon Web Services. Okay, so we started off by discussing the basics of cloud computing, and then, we went into discussing about the services, compute service a bit in depth, and then we discussed all the storage services. We'll be discussing a lot more advanced concepts today. Okay, so what is the main reason of going in for architecting core AWS service? That's your advanced program in Amazon Web Services. So here with our essentials program, we have covered, the compute service in depth. Okay, so there are, if you want to upskill yourself in a very efficient manner in the platform of Amazon Web Services, you need to have a hold on all the utilities inside Amazon Web Services console, which are used for architecting, okay, different utilities in a production environment. Okay, so it's not just we have, in this particular essentials program, you've been exposed to all the concepts which are very important when you talk about Amazon Web Services, but then the implementation, a high level implementation knowledge would be delivered in this particular AWS Advanced Architecting Core AWS Service program. Okay, so here you can expect 30 plus advanced labs. Okay, so every single topic that we have discussed in our essentials, we were discussing about S3 storage, right? So S3 storage itself will have around like 4 or 5 labs. Okay, and then we have every, so if it's going to be VPC, we'll see how we are going to be creating a VPC and how you are going to be establishing communication between different VPCs, how you manage a virtual private environment. Okay, and then we'll be talking about the different application services that are offered by AWS. Okay, and then we'll be implementing, okay, every single concept that you will be learning in your advanced AWS curriculum is going to be implementation, live implementation. Okay, you will have to have, you'll be having lots of projects to work on, and you will have, everything is going to be implementation based. Okay, and the most, important thing is that you would be exposed to most important concepts inside your DevOps platform as well. Okay, so we'll be working with 10 plus advanced labs in your DevOps environment. We'll be talking about Git, Jenkins, Docker. Okay, so all these things will be implementing. Okay, again. Okay, and then I'll be leading you through the entire 100-hour session. Okay, so whether you have problems with implementing, so now here it is like how do we say? We will definitely be having a much advanced interactive sessions when we get into our internal system, okay, with our advanced program. Okay, so rather than this particular essential session, we'll make it much more interactive. Okay, so I will be able to personally assist you when you face some trouble with implementing any of the concepts or utilities, or working with any utilities inside the AWS platform. Okay, so that is going to be a plus from your end. And then, yeah, dual certification. Okay, so here you will have this particular program will be giving you two certificates. Okay, the first one is for certificate program on completion certificate for program in architecting core AWS services, and the next one will be a DevOps practitioner certificate. Okay, so this is going to be a valuable bundle that you're going to be using to upskill yourself. Okay, to sell yourself in the corporate world, in the cloud computing market. Okay, so this is definitely going to be definitely adding it will definitely add a lot of skill set, or more weightage to your profile. Okay, so if just to understand, and if you want to achieve the full essence of the AWS training, I suggest you to go ahead with your advanced architecting using core AWS services. Okay, guys. So just to give you a glimpse of the syllabus that we're going to be delivering. Okay, I guess everybody is able to see my screen. Yes. Okay, guys. So this is the advanced curriculum. So we're going to be having 100+ hour session. Okay, so we'll start again with with all the basic concepts. Okay, maybe some people I was not able to assist you personally, and you might have had different problems. Okay, when you were launching instances, but then we do have much more advanced concepts with the EC2 instances as well. Okay, so we'll be working on all those advanced concepts, and then we'll be working extensively with block storage volumes. Okay, and then how you're going to be managing all your compute resources. Okay, and then it'll be a complete hands-on based implementation sessions on your S3, and then in your VPC as well. VPC is nothing but your virtual private cloud. Okay, so we'll be talking about Amazon VPC as well. Okay, so all these things will be covering all the concepts of CIDR blocks, and then private public subnets, IP addresses, IP addressing. Okay, how you create and manage subnets and things like that. Okay, all these things will be discussed. Okay, so you will be able to very clearly understand the significance or use case of NAT gateway, NAT instance. Okay, how you manage a complete private network. Okay, so all these concepts would be extensively covered. Okay, then you go into databases. Again, we'll be discussing a lot about the different databases that are offered by Amazon Web Services. Okay, and then we'll be working extensively on a few of the databases as well. Okay, how you manage a database in a production environment. Okay, and then IAM, identity and access management. We are going to be seeing how you are going to be using AWS management console for creating and managing users, group policies. You'll be doing a hands-on, you'll be doing a project on this identity and access management as well as VPC. So those two projects that you work on, identity and access management and VPC, they are going to be extensive projects. Okay, so this is going to be adding a lot of weightage to your cloud computing certificate, guys. And then you will learn how to use the different logging and monitoring services. Okay, like CloudWatch, CloudTrail. Okay, all these things you will have an extensive hands-on implementation. Okay, and then we'll move into discussing about the DNS, how it functions, and how we are going to be implementing, and what are the different services that are offered by AWS for you to implement these concepts in the platform that is your AWS platform. Okay, and then we'll move into our final topic, which is your DevOps fundamentals. So here, depending upon the user requirements. Okay, I mean, you people, you are our customers, right? So depending upon your requirement, if you want our Linux basics to be handled, even before we could start our advanced session, we could do that. Or if you want it to be done with DevOps, we could do that. So once we are into the batch, so okay, so whatever feels comfortable for the entire set, I mean the set, okay, we can go ahead like that. Okay, so we'll discuss all the Linux basics, because you have to, we the elastic load balancer and certain concepts will be using Linux. So then and there, wherever there is a need, I would stress up more on Linux and Unix concepts. And we will have an extensive session on Linux. Okay, Linux and management of Linux. Okay, so also we'll be moving into discussing the DevOps concepts, the SDLC concepts. Okay, and we'll be discussing a lot about version control using Git. Okay, and how you implement a continuous integration system using Jenkins, all these concepts, and then your Docker, usage of Docker for containerization. So all these will be discussed in your AWS advanced curriculum, guys. And how we are going to be assessing you. So now, I guess everybody's, again, I want to stress that you will be having, because the number has increased, I want everybody to be informed. Okay, you are having your AWS Essentials assessment scheduled on August 28th. That is this Friday, 11 a.m., 8 p.m. Okay, so 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. You have a broad time span. Okay, utilize this time and take up your test. And for this AWS advanced curriculum, you will have 3 levels of assessment. Okay, so chapter 1, 2, 3 will have a separate assessment. 4, 5, 6 there will be a separate assessment, and 7, 8, 9 will have a separate assessment. Okay, and then we will have a lot of between the course, during this course, probably, which is 100 plus hours of course, you will have lots of projects to be submitted. There will be something called a final project. Okay, final assessment alone I have mentioned here, but you will have lots of projects during the course of your training. Okay, guys, so that's a bit about your AWS Advanced. Okay, the website for this AWS Advanced will be launching soon. Okay, so stay tuned with us. Keep checking our website. Okay, and we'll update you with the details for AWS Advanced course. Okay, guys. So I guess we can start our session today. Till here, any doubts? Let me just check the chat box. Good evening. Good evening. When is the final exam? Yes, I have given the answer, guys. It is 28th Friday. Okay, so yeah, please don't forget. Okay, I know everybody has had a active participation in the sessions, be it the attendance or your project submission. But ensure that you make full use of it. Okay, so only when you take up the exam, this particular venture is going to be complete. Okay, so please don't forget to take the exam. Yes. Okay, guys, so let's begin now. So we are going to start with virtual private cloud. Good to go, guys. Shall we start? Yes. Okay, guys, so we are moving into VPC. What is VPC? Virtual private cloud. We have already discussed a lot about virtual private cloud when we were talking about the public cloud and the private cloud. Okay, so here your VPC, when I say virtual private cloud, it is going to be a complete compartment or a private environment that is completely under the control of the user. Okay, that is completely under the control of the user. So any resources that you launch into this particular virtual cloud is going to be your own resource. So what is the extent of having authority over the resources is even the IP range that you use inside this virtual private cloud is going to be under your control. Okay, and the networking, whatever it is, not just the networking or the IP address range, you manage the subnet. Okay, so all these are completely under your control. Okay, if I think someone asked me a question when we were in the first or second session, whether you're going to be using IPv4 or IPv6. See, you can use, okay, by default your VPCs will be managed with IPv4 addresses. You can additionally assign IPv6 addresses if there is a need. Okay, so you can do that. Okay, it's an option, it's not mandatory. IPv6 is not mandatory, but then IPv4 is the mandatory or default IP addressing that is used with your AWS console, AWS resources. So IPv6 can be additionally assigned to your resources. Okay, subnets. So within your, what is this concept of subnetting? You have a very large network. Okay, again, will be there are like loads of calculations that has to be done for subnetting, guys. We'll be covering extensively how to do IP address classification. I mean, the entire IP address classification and subnetting will be discussed in your AWS advanced curriculum. For now, the subnetting is dividing a huge network. You have a large enormous network and you want to divide this large network into multiple networks so that you are able to easily manage the networks. Okay, so that is the reason you go in for the concept of subnetting. So you have small subnets. You create, a subnet 1, subnet 2, subnet 3, and you allocate your resources within each of these subnets. Okay, that's for ease of management. Okay, so it's a subnet as such is a logical container within a VPC. That's where you're going to be launching your EC2 instances. Okay, EC2 instances cannot be launched outside a VPC, right? You have to definitely associate an EC2 instance with a VPC. Okay, to give you a clearer picture, when we were creating our EC2 instances, you would have seen that we selected something called default VPC. Okay, we selected something called default VPC. That is the reason. The reason is that we don't have any private VPC or our own VPC. We did not create any VPC. That is the reason we were using all the default VPC stuff. Okay, so there are situations where you can create your own VPC and then launch the servers inside your VPC. Okay, so you have a VPC. You create a VPC and then you associate your instance within a subnet inside the VPC. Okay, so it is going to be isolating your instances, your servers from each other and lets you manage the traffic. Okay, so that's the main reason. Organization, high level management is possible when you use subnets. Okay, so every instance, that's what, if it's going to be within a VPC, that means within a VPC you are you're going to be associating your VPC, I mean your instance, with a particular subnet as well, right, guys? And then again, once you associate, the moment you create, there are features like you can actually change the type of instance that you create. You can increase the size or the capacity of the machine that you create, but then you cannot change the region. Okay, so once you create it, okay, once you create a resource, the region and the subnet, it's going to be constant. You cannot change that. It's not possible for you to move the instance to a different region. Maybe you can create another instance in a different region, but it is not possible for you to move the current existing instance into a different subnet. Okay, so it again, so that implies that you cannot be moving it to a different VPC as well. Route table. Route table is nothing but, it tells you how you're going to be directing your traffic, the way in which you're going to be directing your traffic. Okay, so when you are like automatically you will have something called a default route table. Okay, so you have something called main route. Okay, main route table. So by default, the default route table will be your main route table. If you want to have any specific routing that is done, okay, routing is nothing but directing your packets to the destination. Okay, so there are like lots of terminologies to be discussed with that. Okay, so how you route from the source to the destination, so that is going to be there in your route table. Okay, so if you want your own routes to be mentioned, then you would have to create a route table of your own and then associate this route table with the main, or make this the newly created route table as the main route table, because by default there will be a route table that is associated with every subnet. Okay, so if you don't associate the main route table, or make the one that you created, if you don't make it the main route table, the default route table will be taken as the main route table. Okay, so all these changes can be done to have efficient management of your VPCs. And then the concept of elastic IPs is a very important concept, guys, in a production environment. Okay, so in a production environment, what happens is that you let's say I have I have like 1,000 servers or 100 servers. Let's make it not don't want to make it very complicated. Okay, so let's say I have like 10 or 15 servers. Okay, and I have configured some kind of networking on all these, I mean in this particular environment. Okay, I have 10 or 15 servers deployed into a network, and I have some kind of configuration, the networking, and I have deployed all the application. Elastic load balancer is in action, auto scaling groups is in action. Everything is set. Okay, the entire environment is set. Okay, so what happens? I guess everybody is aware of the two options that you have. I mean, when you, everybody is aware of the concept of DHCP, right? So when you restart your machine, okay, so my machine is running, my server is running. When I restart my machine, what happens is that the public IP that is associated, maybe you can even try that. If you have not noticed, try to restart your machine. Okay, when you restart your machine or stop and then restart your machine, the public IP associated that with that particular machine will change. Okay, so when you restart your machine, you're losing the basic public IP that is associated with your machine. Your new machine, or when it restarts, the machine gets allocated with an IP from the address pool again. Okay, there is no guarantee that you will get back the same IP address. So now come back to the use case again. So now in this case where I have configured the entire network, I'm restarting a machine, or for some reason my server gets restarted. Okay, in that case, if I'm going to be configuring using my normal DHCP IPs, what will happen? Okay, I would have done so many configuration based on the IP assigned to that machine, and if that particular base IP is going to get changed, okay, it is not possible for me to, a proper management of that network. Okay, but I want to have, that is the main purpose, I want to have a high level management of the network. Okay, so that is where your elastic IPs comes into play. Okay, so these are called by definition static paid public IPs. Okay, static paid public IPs. So what is the static paid public IP? You would have to pay for it. Okay, but then you will not be you will not be charged when the instance is running. Okay, if I'm going to be buying an elastic IP and then associating this IP or keeping this IP with my account without associating it with the running instance, then I will be charged for the elastic IPs. Okay, so if this instance is continuously running and it has this elastic IP attached to it, then you will not be charged for the elastic IP. Okay, so here this is a public IP that you will have to purchase from your service provider. So the moment you purchase this, IP from the service provider, it's going to be becoming a private resource. Okay, so you can associate this public IP with your instance, whether you restart or whether you're going to be stopping your instance, whatever you do, until and unless you manually release the IP, it is not going back into the shared pool, and the IP address assigned to this machine does not change at any cost. Okay, so that is the reason you go in for using elastic IPs, and in production environments, where critical applications are deployed, they always prefer using a elastic IPs rather than using a DHCP. Okay, so it is associated with your account. Yes, the moment you buy it, it's going to be becoming a private resource that is associated with your account. It is going to be staying there in your account until you manually release it. Okay, so you are able to, let's say there is a, you have associated an elastic IP with a particular server in a network. The same scenario where I have 10 or 15 servers deployed into the network. Okay, so all these 10 to 15 servers that are deployed in the network, maybe one or two server has gone down. Let's take one server has gone down. It has an elastic IP associated with it. What I can do is my entire configuration is based on the IP, right? That is assigned to the server. I can remove the elastic IP from this particular machine that has gone down and then associate this elastic IP with the new machine, which is healthy. Okay, so that is where the advantage of elastic IP comes in. Okay, then NACLS and security groups. So network, let's talk about security groups because you're like very much aware of what security groups are. These are virtual firewalls. Okay, so virtual firewalls prevent or control the flow of traffic to your instances. Okay, so you have complete control over deciding which type of traffic can have access to your instance, whether it is an HTTP traffic. So we have worked a lot with security groups, guys. You should be able to understand what a security group is. Okay, so we saw when we were creating the instances, If it's going to be a Windows instance, well, RDPs are mandatory, and if it's going to be a Linux instance, it is like SSH is mandatory. And for different configurations for different protocols, you might have to enable different protocol access. Okay, so that is how you're going to be managing your security group. Okay, so AWS offers two levels of security. One is at the instance level. Okay, your security group works or provides security at the instance level. Okay, so at the server level. And then we have a NACLS, which is Networks Access Control List, which provides a security at the subnet level. Okay, so there are two levels of security that is offered by AWS. Okay, one at the instance level, which is the security group. Second one is at the subnet level, which is your network access control list. Okay, so yeah, both can be configured, completely configurable. Okay, as per your requirements. Then DNS and content delivery network. Okay, so your domain naming system. Okay, Amazon Route 53, where 53 is your port number. Okay, your DNS port number is 53, so that's the name. It is named as Amazon Route 53. Okay, so your entire configuration of domain naming system is managed by your Route 53. Okay, so you will not be able to. What is this domain naming system? Conversion or mapping of your domain names into, or your IP addresses, your public IPs into your human readable domain names, because you cannot be remembering the IP addresses of all the websites. It's not possible for you to remember, right? So maybe you are clicking on letsupgrade.com. Okay, but then there is a IP address that is associated with that website. Okay, so that is where your domain naming system functions. Okay, so then we have CloudFront, which is our content delivery network. I guess everybody is able to remember the concept of regions, okay, availability zones, and how we are going to be having the regions and availability zones spread across the different regions across the globe. Okay, so here maybe we were using resources in the Ohio region, right? So we were able to change the region to Mumbai or North Virginia or Sydney. Okay, so all these are different regions where we can migrate our resources to, or I mean, use our resources or deploy our resources. Okay, so here what your CloudFront does is content delivery network. Maybe I have my database. For some reasons, there are situations where certain services are available only in certain regions. Okay, so maybe certain services are available in only in North Virginia, so you have to go and deploy your resources in North Virginia region. In that case, okay, let's say I have deployed my database server in North Virginia region. It is not possible for me to I cannot say it's not possible, but then the latency which is incurred when I'm going to be accessing from India, if I'm going to be accessing my database that is residing in North Virginia, every now and then it is going to be causing me a lot of latency and disturbance in a production environment. You won't have instantaneous access. Okay, so that's where your CloudFront comes in. Okay, so you have edge locations across the different regions where you will be able to it serves like a cache. Okay, so you are able to transfer informations, transfer any kind of information with a high speed. Okay, and you are able to have a completely managed environment. Okay, and you are able to maintain the infrastructure very well. Okay, so you are able to, your fetches could be, or you want to get some data from the databases, everything. For the first time it goes and registers there in your edge location, and then the next time when I give a request, it is going to be fetching the data from the edge location and not directly from the database which is residing there in a very farther region. Okay, so this is for faster access to the database in different regions. Okay, then we have different monitoring, auditing, and alerts. Okay, so we have different tools or utilities which are going to be deployed or provided by your Amazon Web Services for this purpose of CloudWatch. I mean, monitoring, auditing, and alerts. The first one is CloudWatch. Okay, so in a deployment network or in a a production environment where you have the entire system running. You have a network where you have many servers deployed into the network. You have applications that are running on these servers. Okay, so there is something called a health check that will be continuously running across all the servers in the network. Okay, so what happens is if there is some problem with one of the servers, okay, we were talking about auto scaling and all, right? So how this functions, auto scaling, when there is a problem with one of the servers, you want the auto scaling to automatically add a new server into the network. Okay, and also I've given you an example for auto scaling where when there is a utilization, okay, when the CPU utilization goes beyond 60%, you want a new server to be added into the network. So how do you monitor this environment, whether the CPU utilization has reached 60%, or whether the CPU utilization has reached 90%, or whether the CPU is unutilized? Okay, you need some kind of monitoring service which lets you monitor the entire environment, okay, so that you can have all the metrics that are needed for your auto scaling, or it could be some kind of activities that has to trigger a lambda. Okay, you need some kind of tool to do this. That's where your CloudWatch monitoring comes in. Okay, your CloudWatch monitoring is responsible for overall monitoring of your AWS environment. Okay, so your CloudWatch can be coupled with any of the resources and applications that is offered by or that is available in your AWS platform. It can collect, track metrics, monitor all the log files, and you would be able to trigger alarms. Okay, and these alarms can be used for troubleshooting purpose, basically. Okay, so if you set an alarm stating that if the CPU utilization goes beyond 60%, I want you to trigger an alarm. Okay, and you would be able to send or set the endpoints, okay, where you want this notification to go to. Okay, maybe you can give this notification can be triggered or can be used to trigger a lambda function. What is a lambda function or a lambda utility? You have a background task which has to be executed. So you have a serverless compute lambda which is in action. Okay, so you can couple this lambda, I mean CloudWatch alarm to your lambda. Okay, or you can have this notification to be buffered in an SQS. We'll be talking about SNS SQS, don't worry. Okay, so you can couple it to a queuing service or a buffer service, and then you will be able to uh, um, I mean, take care of all the notifications that are there inside your queuing service. So you can couple all these alarms in and use them for doing some kind of activities in future. Okay, in the near future, then what is the next step that has to be taken? Okay, you'd be able to decide that using your CloudWatch alarms. Okay, so here all the logs are stored in S3 buckets. Okay, so that's about your CloudWatch monitoring. And then we have a cloud trail. Okay, so what is this cloud trail? All the API, application programming interface activities inside your AWS account is being managed by your cloud trail. Okay, you have your logging. Okay, your logs are maintained, the user logs, who has made a request, what was the service that this particular user will be talking. Okay, our IAM is over, right? So we have users, right? I can have user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4. N number of users can be accommodated within a single root user account. Okay, so when I have let's say 20 users inside my account, I want to have an overall or a high level management or system administration of all my users. Okay, I want to know what my users are doing with this account. Okay, or how these users are utilizing the resources inside this account. Okay, so who has made, which is the particular user who's using this particular resource, and what was the particular change he has made. If it's going to be working with the database, so he what was the change that was made, when was the commit made? All these details I would be able to check or get these details using cloud trail. Okay, a complete logging service that is offered by Amazon Web Services, that's your cloud trail. And then we have config, AWS config, all the CloudWatch events. Okay, any all the alarms, or it could be with any situations. You can couple your CloudWatch with any situations. Similarly, you would be able to couple your CloudWatch events with config. Okay, so here you will your config is going to be storing the most recent and important changes. Okay, but then if it's CloudWatch, it is going to be like every change that happens. If you set up an alarm, like every change you want to raise an alarm, then it is going to be triggering an alarm for every change that happens. Okay, so that is how you can use or couple all these different tools or utilities together to have a good experience inside your AWS console. Okay, so now we're going to be moving into the databases section. Okay, so if we talk about the database, AWS offers SQL database support as well as NoSQL database support. Okay, so SQL databases, we have RDS, Redshift, Aurora, which is again, a product that is offered by Amazon Web Services. Okay, so here we are going to be discussing about RDS, and then for NoSQL database is your DynamoDB. Okay, so it is a fully functional SQL database. RDS is a fully functional SQL database. Okay, so the different engines that are supported by RDS is MariaDB, SQL Server, PostgreSQL, Oracle Database, and Amazon Aurora. Okay, so these are the different RDS engines or the database engines that are supported by SQL or the basic, the RDS database that is offered by Amazon Web Services. Okay, so there is an important feature which is called, disaster recovery. Okay, what is this disaster recovery? When we talk about databases, it is going to be very critical informations that are hosted or stored in your servers. Okay, in your database servers. Okay, so your data center, first of all, it has to be, you have a basic requirement that your data center has to be located out of a disaster free zone. Okay, it has to be a disaster free zone. You cannot, earthquake prone zone cannot be selected for setting up a data center. Okay, or a flood prone zone cannot be selected for a for a data center location. Okay, you have to locate your data center in a very safe zone. Okay, so even though you have taken so much effort in setting up your data center in a place where there are like no disasters could happen. Okay, there might be situations where you end up losing your database servers. In such a case, you want to have some kind of recovery plan. Okay, so that's where your disaster recovery comes in. When there is a problem, how you are going to be having access to all the data that you store in your database servers. Okay, so we have different options like multi-AZ deployment. Okay, so where you are going to be replicating, okay, same data. If I'm going to be uploading, or if I'm going to be making a change, a small change that is going to be made in my original database. Okay, let's say I have my database in Mumbai. Okay, I want to create a disaster recovery zone, which is in a different availability zone. Okay, then it'll automatically reflect. Okay, the change that I make will be automatically reflect on the next region or the next availability zone where I have chosen for a disaster recovery. Okay, we'll be doing a hands-on in your advanced course for RDS as well as DynamoDB. This one is a SQL. RDS is a SQL based and DynamoDB is a NoSQL based database. Okay, so both has disaster recovery mechanisms implemented. Okay, so here DynamoDB is you are able to accommodate dynamic data. Okay, so when you have the data is continuously changing, we have like petabyte scales of data. I'm repeating this every now and then. So you have petabyte scales of data that is getting generated now every second. Okay, so you want a system or a database that manages this petabyte scale data very efficiently. Okay, so that's where your DynamoDB comes in. Okay, so you generally, sorry guys. Okay, so in general, inside your RDS, which is SQL based, you have a proper structure. Okay, whereas in DynamoDB, it is completely based on a key value pair mechanism. Okay, so you have keys. How do I say that? Keys and the values. again, so this would be very much appealing when you do the hands-on, guys. Okay, so you have associations between the keys and the values. Okay, instead of having a proper structure to your table-based database, this is going to be like more related with your keys and values. Okay, and this also, your dynamic DB also supports cross-region replication, and you would be able to automatically replicate within availability zones within the selected regions of your choice. Okay, then we have Elasticache. What is this Elasticache? Again, we were talking about CloudFront as well, right? So where we need efficient transfer of data between different regions. Okay, so you want a fast transfer mechanisms. Okay, so that's where you go in for using content delivery network. Here, Elasticache is providing you with a petabyte scale in-memory caching service. Okay, it provides you the amount of caching service that is provided by Elasticache is in the range of petabytes. Okay, and it has two different configurations that could be used. You can use your Elasticache with Memcached or Redis. Okay, so here your Elasticache with Redis, it is going to be supporting multi-AZ. So that is like your read replicas. You can create your replicas, or the replications or the disaster recovery zones could be deployed in multiple AZs. Okay, and then you can create your snapshots as well. Okay, so here the read replicas are created across AZ. The AZ is availability zone within the same region wherever you have your parental database. Okay, using Redis asynchronous replication technology, and you will not be able to span across different regions. Okay, so and if you want to do that, you have your backup and restore as well. And then you have if you want to have a better fault tolerance, okay, then you can always use a multi-AZ Redis deployment. Okay, we're moving into Lambda now. The next concept, we've already discussed a bit about Lambda, which is going to be your serverless compute space. We know that EC2, that is our Elastic Compute Cloud, is a completely a server-based compute space. Any type of processing you want to do, you would be able to do or execute that in a server. Okay, in a EC2 server. EC2 is nothing but servers in AWS cloud. Okay, so here AWS Lambda is all about a serverless compute space, the same type of compute, but then there is no server. It's a serverless compute platform that is offered by. It's a completely managed service that is offered by Amazon Web Services. As simple as that. Okay, so you are able to use the Lambda space for automated tasks wherever you don't want to have manual intervention. You want some kind of you can have your configuration script files, and then you would be able to upload the script files, and then you would be able to automate tasks, okay, using Lambda. Okay, so that is the advantage of using Lambda. So okay, here I've listed down the features of Lambda without provisioning or managing servers. As I already said, EC2 is going to be server-based, where you are going to be using, when you use a fully managed system, that is Lambda, you pay only for the code that is running. Okay, so how much time you use that resource, it's not for the servers. Okay, so here you would be able to run your services with zero administration. That's what I said, without human intervention. Any task that you want to automate, or any task where you want to avoid human intervention, okay, all these tasks or the background tasks can be assigned or allocated to Lambda. Okay, and it does not provide any access. So if I'm going to be using Lambda, if I use a EC2, I have access to the underlying configuration of my EC2 instances, right? But if I'm going to be using Lambda, I don't have access. As a user, I will not have access to the underlying infrastructure. It also provides you with high scalability and availability. Okay, and then it is able to execute tasks in the range of milliseconds. Okay, it is able to execute tasks in milliseconds without human intervention. Okay, so that is the advantage of using a fully managed Lambda service that is offered by Amazon Web Services. Okay, so we're moving into the most sensitive part, which is again your security and compliance. Okay, so irrespective of what platform you use, if it's not going to be secure, you would definitely not go in for using that particular platform. Okay, so that's where your security and compliance comes in. So before we move into security and compliance, let me just check your chat box, guys. Just give me a minute. I'm checking your chat box. Any questions, any doubts till now, guys? Yes, you cannot be using CloudWatch as it is chargeable. I would show you from my end, I'll be showing you a demo so that you can have a flavor. In AWS Advanced, I'll be showing you advanced curriculum. I'll be showing you a demo of using CloudWatch. Advanced course will not be live. You would have to subscribe for register for the advanced course, guys. Yes, you will have better understanding of all the concepts if you do hands-on. Okay. Tomorrow is the last date for assignment submission. So tomorrow before 5 o'clock, you have to submit your assignments. Okay, the exam date, again, I'm repeating, 28th will be your exam. Okay, 28th morning 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. You can take up your exam, guys. It is going to be a multiple choice question which you're going to be answering in Kahoot platform. Okay, so you would have, scenarios, you would have concepts based questions, you would have questions related to utilities. So, everything will be included. So just go through all the contents that was covered in the sessions and please prepare yourself for the same. Day 4 is not available in the playlist. Okay, I'll convey the message. Please extend the assignment submission date. Suraj, the problem is we have to, forward you all the mails with the login credentials for your exam. Okay, so if you're going to be delaying the submission date, then it is very difficult for us to manage. Okay, so please ensure that you are submitting your assignments tomorrow 5 p.m. Okay, before that. 28th August, 11 p.m. Sorry, 11 a.m., 8 p.m. I'm repeating it again and again, guys. Showing the site cannot be reached. What is this site cannot be reached? Is Let's Upgrade site not able to? You're not able to reach that site? I'm not able to get this question. Tushar. Exam time 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Guys, you can take it at your comfort. Yes, we are going to be teaching you practical. That is the whole point of launching our AWS Advanced. Okay, so how extensively we have covered, EC2, Elastic Load Balancer. We would be covering all the utilities. Okay, all the services will be covered to with such extensive implementations in AWS Advanced program. All the details about the fees and everything would be conveyed to you in your mail, guys. So keep checking our website. System requirements, you have there's as such you're going to be using your AWS console, so you don't have much of any basic system requirements. PPT link will be available in the description after class. And then, yeah, load balancer is showing the same thing. Okay, whatever, try to get the load balancer up and running, before 5 o'clock today. If that is not possible, just take a screenshot of the error that you get and do upload that as well. We'll check what could be done. It's not going to be a practical exam, it's going to be a multiple choice questions only, but then you will have all the scenarios. You need to have basic understanding of all the concepts, only then you would be able to answer the questions that are given there, guys. Yes, we will have a lab today, but then you would not be able to implement it. So there will not be any projects for today. So duration of the exam, you can complete it in 1 hour, guys. So it would probably have 50 questions that would have, you can answer it within 1 hour. Yes, PPT link will be made available to you guys. So depending upon which assignment you're submitting, the number of screenshots differs, guys. Akshay has asked a question: to get certified in AWS Core Service Program, do I need to be certified in AWS Essentials? It is not mandatory. Okay, you can directly join us for AWS Core Services as well. Okay, so this is the first level of clearance, which is AWS Essentials. If you're not, attending this, or if you have not cleared this, also we would be assisting you in your AWS Core Services. That's your advanced curriculum. 70%, guys. You have to get marks which is like 70% and above if you want to clear this paper. Details about this advanced course will be published in the website, guys. Please keep checking our website. 40 marks. This is not an university exam to clear with 40 marks, guys. Okay. Yes, all the PPTs would be shared. You can have a look. You will receive all the informations about your exams in your mail, guys. Your login credentials, everything will be available. Yes. Anything else? Anything sensitive questions missing? Guys, any extensive support we are ready to provide with your AWS advanced training. Any particular project you want to implement, or any particular concept that you want to implement in the AWS platform, I'm here to support you with the AWS advanced course, guys. Till Tuesday, I will confirm, guys. I cannot give you a word. Okay, I'll just ask them if it is possible to extend the deadline to at least, it might not be definitely possible to extend the deadline to Tuesday afternoon, I mean Tuesday evening and all, but then yeah, I'll ask them if they can extend it a few more hours. Friday, no, sorry guys. Yesterday I've given a false information. So Friday is not going to be your last day for submission, because we thought of initially we thought of having the exam scheduled in a later date, but then we're going to be having your exam on 28th. That's this Friday. Okay, so all the assignment submissions have to be made by all means before tomorrow 5 p.m. Okay, only then you will get your links or your emails with all your login credentials for taking up the exam on Friday. I guess I've answered most of the questions, guys. Tomorrow is the last date for submission. Okay, guys, I'll ask them. Exam attempts, you don't have any attempts and all, guys. You will have to clear it in the first round. Okay, so please prepare well, watch all the videos. If you have completely stayed with me through the entire session from day one till date, okay, you would definitely be able to clear the exam. Okay, watch these videos again and again, and even every single word that I use, or have a concentrate on the content that is delivered, you would definitely be able to crack the exam, guys. That you don't have any extra attempts for this exam. Elastic IP is static IP. It is a stable. Okay, so Kiran has asked a question. Static IP, so it is like it's a stable IP that is going to be associated with your instance. Okay, so it does not change. Okay, it is not dynamic. It does not change. That is the reason you call it a static paid public IP, which is going to be continuously associated with your account. I mean, with your instance once you associate it. All the details about your exams, what kind it is going to be, whether it is a multiple choice question or how much time it is going to be, all these informations regarding your exam, you will be receiving a mail, guys. Don't worry. Yes, guys. See, even I want to see everybody's requesting for an extension for the assignment submission. I will definitely take it to the management, but then please, guys, try to make your submission before 5 p.m. tomorrow. Okay. So, at the worst case, if you get that particular error, any errors or any problems with the elastic load balancer, please take a screenshot of that error and do paste it in your assignment submission, and do prepare well for your evaluation, your final assessment, guys. Mhm. Guys, this question is a bit weird. Manikanda, can we able to access the files in S3 by using EC2 IP address? Not at all possible. Okay, so yeah, this question is like it's not possible. Okay. Yes, you have joined 2 days back. Try to submit all the assignments, Ram Prasad. So you would be able to, you might have a chance to, appear for the exam. 3 assignments, yes, project one, project two, and project three. Yeah. Okay, guys. Today you will not have any assignments or projects. So for tomorrow's submission, you just have one project to be submitted, which is your elastic load balancer. Okay, guys. So here now let's get back to the session. So we're moving into security and compliance, which is your, we're going to be talking extensively about your key management service. Okay, so you are, how you manage security in your AWS resource environment, how you manage your customer keys. Okay, what are the different types of encryptions that are used to encrypt the data? Okay, when you are, sharing it across your network, it could be on premises or in a hybrid architecture. You might be transferring data between your on premises infrastructure and the cloud. Okay, in any situations you want to have proper security established. Okay, so you are going to be using your Amazon Web Services key management service for this particular purpose. Okay, so what are the different features that is offered by, guys, please stop texting me. Okay, so it is going to be like a distraction, so I'll give you time for questions. Okay, so during that time you can put your messages in the chat box. Okay, so here the first feature is you will be able to create and manage your customer master keys. Okay, so and then how you are, whether you want to enable these master keys or you want to disable this. Okay, how you grant policies. Again, the policies, the entire policy management will be doing it in depth in your AWS advanced course. Okay, so here, how you are managing or identifying and maybe the keys that you use. Okay, the key that you use that is associated with your resources, how we are going to be using it for identification, automation, and cost tracking, because you want to track what is the billing that is incurred by a particular user or by a particular resource. Okay, so all these things could be organized in a much efficient manner using your customer management keys. Okay, and then you can again for any resource, okay, any resource that you use inside your cloud computing platform, it is going to be considered as a reusable resource or a disposable resource. Okay, so the moment you use it, okay, when there is a need, you have access to it, you gain access to it, and then you use it. The moment you don't need it, you're going to be releasing it back into the shared pool. Okay, so how you manage all this? Okay, so that's what the main reason or the main component of your security and compliance is. Okay, so you're going to be using efficiently the key management service for this purpose. And then you have the shared responsibility model, which is a very important concept that is for the security and compliance. Okay, so here you have two concepts. One is security in cloud, okay, and then security of the cloud. Sorry, guys. Okay, security in the cloud and security of the cloud. Okay, so here there is a sharing of responsibility that happens between the provider as well as the customer or the client. Okay, so here your AWS becomes completely responsible for the security of the cloud infrastructure that AWS offers you. Okay, and the customer will be responsible for the security in the cloud. Okay, so the platform that is offered to you is completely under the control of your provider. Okay, the infrastructure. Again, moving to this previous slide, here can you see the hardware infrastructures? I mean, the virtual hardwares, right? So here you have your compute, your storage, your database, your networking, okay, all these things, your regions, the different regions, the availability zone management, okay, the edge location, your content delivery network, right, the edge location management, all these are going to be completely managed with utmost security by your cloud provider. Okay, when it comes into managing your own network, okay, where you have the different applications, maybe the one is your EC2 instance. Okay, the EC2 instance is going to be if you choose infrastructure as a service. Okay, so the customer will have to configure the security rules. Okay, you that is completely under the control, your control, right? And then if it's going to be like DynamoDB or anything that is a managed service that you avail from AWS, any managed service that you're going to be getting from AWS, in that case you need not worry about the underlying infrastructure. Okay, so you would have to just manage your applications. Okay, so how you are going to be managing user inputs and how you manage that particular data platform alone. Okay, how you are going to manage the high level or the top level applications alone, that is under your control. Okay, so depending upon the type of service model that you choose, it is going to be whether deciding whether it is under your control or it is going to be controlled and managed by the provider. Okay, so this is a shared responsibility model where you have a security of the cloud that is provided by the provider, and security in the cloud is managed by the customer. Okay, any doubts? I have lots of questions, guys. I'm just checking your chat box, guys. Give me a minute. No assignments for today, guys. If you pass the exam, you will get the certificate, guys. Don't worry. Okay, so this is a highly organized course, so you will definitely get you just have to do what you're expected to do. You're supposed to write your exams, submit your assignments, mark all your attendance, and on this particular date, that is August 28th, take your exam. We'll take care of your certifications, guys. Please prepare well for your assessment. Okay, so after proper preparation, you're going to be taking your exam. Okay, so listen to the lectures, the training videos again and again. Okay, concentrate on all the concepts. You cannot say this particular concept is important, this particular concept. No, there is equal weightage to all the concepts. Okay, so you need to have a good knowledge about a good level of understanding on all the essential concepts that are delivered in this session. Okay, to clear that exam. Don't take it easy, guys. Be a little serious and prepare for the exam. Guys, all the information, I'm receiving a lot of questions regarding this exams only. All the information regarding the exam will be conveyed to you through a mail. Okay, so at this point of time, your responsibility is to submit the assignment before 5 p.m. today and keep checking your mail inbox for a mail regarding this exam details. No, we don't have an assignment for today. For this week, you're going to be submitting just one assignment. That is, tomorrow is the deadline, guys. Okay, direct connect is not covered. Okay, so yeah, direct connect is nothing but, see, when I want to, there's a question. Jocelyn has asked this question about direct connect. When I have a hybrid infrastructure, okay, I want to have a secured, high speed data transfer between my on-premises infrastructure and my infrastructure that is existing in my AWS cloud. Okay, so when I want to have a secure data transfer, fast data transfer between my on-premises infrastructure and my infrastructure that is existing in my cloud, I use something called a direct connect. Okay, so this is a dedicated interconnect that can be used for secured data transfer, secured fast data transfer between different locations. Okay. Yes, guys, I've answered the questions. Today we have AWS organizations to be covered, guys. Okay, but then it involves creating and managing multiple accounts. So I know many people who are having difficulty in creating your accounts with AWS because of unavailability of their debit cards, credit cards, and usage of RuPay cards and things like that. So you might not be able to implement organizations. If you are comfortable with trying AWS organizations, you can go ahead and do it. Okay, but then if you might be ending up it is actually available free of cost, but then if you're willing to do it, you can do. Okay, there is no project as such that I'm going to be giving on organizations, but then I'll show you a demo how you can work with the organization. Okay, guys, please, let's stop the question answer session here. Yes, I have an interesting question. Snowball concept, Rahul has asked, what is the snowball concept? Again, this is going to be a data migration service. Okay, so I want to transfer the data. Let's say now we were talking about direct connect, right? So direct connect is something when I want to transfer data efficiently in a private and fast manner between different infrastructures inside your cloud environment. Okay, a similar way, if I want to transfer a huge amount of data, a snowball is a device. Okay, a snowball is a device which can be used to transfer huge large amount of data, okay, from one place to another. Okay, so it's a device that you connect to your infrastructure and then transfer all the data into your snowball device, and then you transport this device to a different region or location, and then you would be able to transfer all the data into that particular distant location. Okay, snowball is basically a physical device. So all the other components that we were talking till now inside the AWS console, they are real-time virtual resources, but then the snowball is a physical resource. Yes, Rahul, thank you for asking that question. Redshift is a data warehousing service, guys. Okay, so managing petabyte scales of data, Redshift is a data warehousing service that is offered by Amazon Web Services. Sankit has asked a question. What is Redshift? No, is the mail regarding exam sent? No, the mail regarding exam will be sent only if you submit your assignments, guys. We need to know who are all actually actively participating in the session. Okay, so this is what is going to make the difference between all the people who are watching the session and the people who are really making use of the session. Okay, you have to submit the assignments. You have to sign your attendance. Okay, so only then we can send you the mails for the exam registration. Snapshot was already covered. Arjun Patel, you didn't cover snapshot. No, Arjun, we have covered snapshot when we were talking about EC2 instances. Okay, snapshots and AMIs. Please watch the video again. We have already covered. It's nothing but you create a snapshot. It's the process of creating an image that could be reused in a later stage, so that you would be able to create a replica of an existing image. I mean, existing resource. Okay. Yes, please, if you have, Omkar Power, he's asked a question, should we delete all the resources? Yes, please delete all the resources once you have prepared your, the assessment, the project template. Once you're done with that, once your uploading is complete, please delete all the resources. Make sure you delete all the resources inside your AWS console. Do not leave any resources associated with your account. No, it is not possible to. Anil has asked, can I allocate a new key pair? No, it is not possible. If you miss your key pair, you will not be able to launch your instance. So you cannot be reassociating your key pair, I mean, a new key pair with the existing instance. What is VPC peering? Okay, so Durvish has asked a question. What is VPC peering? VPC peering is nothing but, see, I have VPC 1, a private cloud, right? Private cloud 1, private cloud 2. So I have VPC 1, I have a VPC 2, and I want these two VPCs, they don't communicate. Okay, so I want to establish a communication between these two VPCs. Okay, so I create a friendly relationship between the two VPCs. I manually create a relationship between the two VPCs so that the resources in these two VPCs can communicate. Okay, so that's what peering is all about. So we'll be doing extensive implementation of VPC and peering connection in our AWS advanced lab. Why do you want to delete your AWS account? See, Kumbham Archana, see, you need not delete your AWS account. Okay, so AWS has given you 1 year free trial for all the resources inside AWS console. So please make proper use of the resources that is allotted to you. If you're going to be deleting this account, you will not have free access. Okay, so and you cannot be using the same mail ID to create another account. Why do you want to lose the resource that is offered to you? Okay, so don't delete your AWS account. Don't just delete all the resources that are inside your AWS account. How it is going to, Vishnu has asked a question, how AWS is going to play a role in data science. Again, data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, okay, everything. Okay, whatever whatever advanced terminologies or technologies you're going to be using, it is integrated with your cloud computing environment. Okay, so any technology, any emerging technology, it is going to be implemented, or it will have direct communication with your cloud platform. Okay, so we have advanced services, like cognitive services, and there are like so many other machine learning services that are available. Okay, so we have so many data science virtual machines that can be created, and there are like so many other components that are within the AWS console, the more advanced specialty concepts that are available in your AWS console, which gives you an integration of all the data science, AI, and machine learning concepts on your AWS console. So irrespective of what the technology you use, all the emerging technologies are going to be based on your cloud platform. You would be able to implement any technology on your cloud platform. Okay, so this is going to be your basic foundation. Okay, so all these technologies, all these emerging technologies are going to be based on your cloud platform. So that's the significance of learning your cloud computing infrastructure. Yes, you have to delete the resources. How to submit the assignment? Go to your GitHub link that is provided in your description box. So once you go to that link, you will be able to submit your assignments. Yeah, creating a snapshot. Vaibhav Agarwal, you asked a question. Can you show an example of creating a snapshot? All these snapshots, creating auto scaling groups, how to implement an auto scaling, how to implement, elastic load balancing, how to implement or recreate an instance from the snapshot that is created. All these things will be discussed in your AWS advanced course, guys. Yes, Rahul, yes, you have asked a question. So direct connect is like data sync, almost, yeah, similar functions, guys. Okay, function as a service is nothing but your, the Lambda. Lambda is what is a function as a service is, and then your mobile backend as a service is, there are like services that gets released very often, and people name it as, this as a service. Okay, so there are like so many terms. Okay, that looks very similar. Function as a service is as simple as your, it's exactly your Lambda. Okay, every provider provides you with a particular function as a service. Okay, so here it is going to be Lambda. Lambda is a function as a service that is offered by AWS. Okay, so the backend support that is offered is your mobile backend service, that is MBAS. Sorry, guys. Instead of scrolling your messages, I scroll through the PPT, guys. What is this NAT gateway? Yes, Rahul has asked a question. What is NAT gateway? NAT gateway is nothing but your network address translation gateway. Again, this is okay, let me explain it. You have something called a private subnet and you have something called a public subnet. Okay, so if I want my instances, which is in my private subnet, to have internet connection, then I need a NAT gateway. Okay, so all these concepts of NAT gateway, your transit gateway, all these advanced concepts would be covered in your AWS advanced architecting class, guys. Yes, Surendra has asked a question. Free AWS account, is it enough for the advanced course? Yes, that is enough. Okay, so we can complete the AWS advanced architecting using the free trial account itself. A load balancer is not activating. That's what, guys, try to get it activated and follow the procedure step by step. Just wait, stay calm, stay patient. Okay, just let the instance running. Okay, and then after some time, just try to retrieve the DNS. It should be working, guys. Okay, how to make cloud computing as a career? We would be going live on Friday. Yeah, 28th August. We would again come on a live. So that time we'll explain how cloud computing could be changing your career life, your career path. Too many questions, guys. How to get certificate? Saurav has asked how to get certificate for this course. So you will have to submit your attendance, you will have to submit all the projects, and then you will have to take up your exam, which is scheduled on 28th August, that is Friday. So once you do that, you will have your certification done. What pattern? Guys, this is not an university exam to be asking pattern, blueprint, and everything. Grow up, guys, please. Sometimes without active status, it is working. Without active status, it might not be working. Maybe there is. Ravi has asked a question. Sometimes without active status, the ELB is working. Probably that's the question, I guess. So maybe one of the instance is healthy and one of the instance is unhealthy. So it sometimes happens. just wait for some time for both the instances. And guys, please make sure you terminate your connections to your instance, and then give some time before you connect using the DNS. Okay, maybe you have deployed your web page on the instance. Okay, and then you have once that is done, you have tested it using the public IP, whether that web page hosting is done, that web server is hosted, web page is hosted. So once that is done, if you want to check it, you have copy pasted the public IP into the browser. Okay, once all these processes are over, make sure you terminate your mobile XTerm connection. Okay, and just let the instance stay calm. Don't disturb the instance because that sometimes throws an error. Okay, so I have experienced that, so I just wanted to let you all know. Okay, so close all the external connections to the server. Okay, so you would, when you are trying to connect it directly from the DNS alone. Okay, so you're not going to be indirectly, or you should not have multiple connections using mobile XTerm as well as trying to access the same instance using the DNS. Okay, make sure you terminate the connections in your mobile XTerm before you go in for using or accessing the instance using DNS. Okay, try that, guys. This should be working. Transit VPC and all is like a much more advanced concepts. We have to first discuss the entire VPC. Okay, the entire VPC structure has to be discussed. The concepts of private subnet, public subnet, what is a transit gateway, what is the purpose of using a transit gateway, and why do we need, how we manage multiple VPCs. That's when you're going to be using your transit VPC. So it's like a lot of concepts has to be discussed if you want to talk about transit VPCs. Guys, again, all these concepts will be covered in your advanced architecting class. Yes, you can host a website using AWS, guys. Yes, AWS, who's this question? Durvesh has asked a question. Does AWS provide a CLI method to perform some operations like GCP? AWS, Azure, GCP, all of them offer extensive support for CLI. Okay, AWS CLI also, supports command line interface, provides you with a command line interface where you would be able to have access to the console. Even when you are creating your instance, you would be prompted whether you want to have a programmatic access or a console access. So this particular programmatic access is through command line interface and software development kits. That's your SDKs. Okay, so you will be having an exercise using AWS CLI in your AWS advanced course, guys. I guess I've answered the questions. Guys, yeah, in Siam has given a reply. All the availability zones, two availability. Make sure you have selected at least two availability zones for your elastic load balancer. If you just select one, it's not going to be working. Select a minimum of two availability zones. You can select three. Okay. If you want to select, you can select all. That's not a problem. But a minimum two has to be selected. Okay. Okay, guys. Okay, AWS pricing. So you have three different models for AWS pricing. One is your pay as you go. So whatever the resources that you use, you're going to be paying for that. And then save when you reserve. So save when you reserve is you are going to be, reserving your instances. Sorry, guys, just give me a minute. It's a disturbance, guys. Just give me a minute. Yes, guys. Okay, so we're talking about AWS pricing now. So what is this pricing? We have, the pay as you go, where you are going to be paying for the resources as and when you use it. Okay, save when you reserve, when you are going to be reserving your resources. Okay, maybe at some point of time, you know what your expected capacity will be. Okay, so in that case, you want to reserve your resources. So when you reserve your resources ahead of your requirement, you are going to be saving. And then also, like when you are going to be having when you know that your workload is going to be very high. Okay, so for such high workloads, you do get some discount on the pricings as well. So you have different support plans that are offered by Amazon Web Services. They are the developer plan, business plan, as well as your enterprise plan. Okay, so your developer plan, in case if you are trying to experiment something or testing in the AWS platform, then you can go in for using a developer plan where you will have a trusted advisor check. The free trial account that we are using, that you will not be able to have any technical assistance, guys. Okay, so technical assistance, or maybe in certain situations you might have to have certain ports in your servers that are to be opened, or you want to increase your limits and things like that. So advanced and trusted advisor help is not available with your free trial account. Okay, so if you go ahead with your developer plan, you will have 7 core checks, and then your support, enhanced technical support, will be available to you during the business hours. Okay, and then if you select a business support plan, okay, if you have some kind of a production workload that is running in your AWS, so if you're going to be having your organizational production workloads that is running, definitely the organizations would go ahead with using either your business or the enterprise support plan, depending upon your requirements. Okay, so it's going to be having full set of checks, and then you have 24/7 trusted advisory team support, and you have unlimited support for IAM and things like that. Yeah. Okay, so now we're moving into AWS organizations. Okay, so here you have what is the main purpose of using AWS organizations, is that you want to have a high level management of all the accounts inside your organization. Maybe you want to have multiple accounts to be managed by a single account. Okay, the payment, the billing, or the usage of resources, you want to completely monitor and manage your workloads that is on the AWS platform using a centralized management. That is when you go in for using AWS organizations. Okay, so when at a stretch, if you want to have a centralized management, you would be of all the accounts. Okay, of all the AWS accounts, you would be able to use AWS organizations. I'll show you a demo of creating a new account. I mean, inviting an existing account, creating a new account would again be discussed in our AWS advanced training. Anyways, I'll show you a demo on inviting an existing account to be a part of this particular root organization. Okay, so when I implement an AWS organization, I will be able to have a consolidated billing and management, or efficient management of all the services. Okay, so you don't have any additional charges for using AWS organizations. Okay, so this one, I have used a snapshot, guys. So I'll show you this console. I'm not sure if it is still with create organization. So this was, so before I could make it a master organization, I've taken the snapshot. Okay, so here this will be your AWS organizations console. Let me show you. Just give me a minute. Okay, so this is where I can access my organization. So here under my username, so this is my AWS management console. Here I have my username, my account name. So when I click on this, I will be having something called my organization. Okay, so when I click on this, Okay, so this is a part of another organization. Let me log in with the other account to show you the base root organization. Okay, so this is my master account. Okay, so this is my master account into which I have added the previous account that I have shown. So this is my console. I'm going into organizations. Okay, so here I have, all these accounts associated with this particular master account. How can you identify this particular account called Chris Adrick is the master account? Can you see the star near that? So this is your master account, and I'm going to be adding, any number of accounts to this master account. Okay, so I would be able to add any number of accounts for a centralized management of billing and other resource management sorry, resource management. So all these things could be done by using my master account. This particular account is the master account, and this is how it is denoted as the master account. Okay, so here, how do I add an account? So before that, how do I create a master account? So since it is already done, I have taken a snapshot when I did that. Okay, so yes, we'll go ahead with creating an organization. Okay, so here this is the web page that you would get. This is the console page that you will get when you are creating an organization. The first the first page that opens to you when you click on my organization. Okay, this will be like this. You just have to click on create organization. Okay, so in case if it's a root account, that's okay. If it's if you want to add some other account, we will be inviting that particular account to be added to this account. So in that case, I can see the invitations here in this tab. Okay, so I have AWS organizations here. So I just have to create an organization. Click on that. Okay, and then you would have this pop-up. So you just go ahead and create organization. You will receive a verification email. Okay, that is registered with the root account. Okay, at this part, you will get a registration verification to the email that you have registered with this account. So you would have to verify that email. So once that is done, okay, once you have verified the email, this account, the root account, becomes the master account. Okay, once that is done, you will have the options whether you want to invite an account to be added to this account, or from this account, from the master account itself, the entire process of creating a new account, new AWS account, can be handled from this console itself, from the AWS organizations console itself. Okay, so here you have a single billing, and then it reduces the work of having multiple billing details and things like that. Okay, so you have a single management platform for all the user accounts. Okay, okay, I think, yeah, it will go back into the console. Okay, so now I have already added the account called Let's Upgrade to my AWS organization, which is with Chris Adrick. Okay, so this is my master account, and Let's Upgrade has been added as a account which is managed by the account Chris Adrick. Yeah, so I can, how can I manage this? See, I can invite a new account. Okay, so I need to have a mail ID associated with, I should have an existing account. Do I have any existing account? Just give me a minute, guys. I'll just retrieve the credentials for an existing account. This requires multiple accounts, guys. That is, this demo requires multiple AWS accounts. So that is the reason I said you, if you want, you can do it. Otherwise, just go ahead with. So I have to give an account here. Any of my existing credentials would work. Let's say I have an account. Okay, so let's say I have this account. I'm inviting this particular AWS account to be added into my user account. Okay, so it is added. Okay, it is invited. Okay, so now I have to log in back as that particular user account. Now I'm inviting an account, guys. This is the process of inviting an account. I'm going to be signing in as that particular user account. Password, right? No. Hopefully it works. Yes. Okay, so now inside this account has been invited from my master account. Okay, so go into my organizations. Okay, so now can you see there is one invitation that is registered here? Okay, so just click on this invitation, and here you can accept the invitation and confirm. Okay, the moment you confirm, you become part of that organization. Do you remember, even in that Let's Upgrade, the account name Let's Upgrade, it was showing the same way, because that is already a part of my master account. Okay, so here let's go back to the master account now. Can you see there are like so many accounts that are added, already a part of my master account? Okay, so I will be able to manage all these accounts from by or using my the master account. Okay, so how do I delete? So we can directly delete the organization. So this is the master account. It shows delete organization. If I want to, delete a particular, a user also, a particular account can be removed from an account. Okay, that is also possible. Okay, so this gives you a overall or high level management of all the user accounts that you want to associate with a single account. Okay, so yeah, we do have some more processes inside AWS organizations. Okay, where you can create or from this console that I showed you, you will be able to create a new account. Okay, and then we have something called organizational units. Okay, so which we would be able to create within the organizations, and then you would be able to set policies. Granular permissions or policies can be set for the organizational units or for the different elements inside the organization. Okay, at different levels I will be able to set granular permissions for each of the accounts or each of the organizational units inside the organizations. Okay, so all these things could be done, and I would be able to, yeah, that's what I said. I will be able to create a new account from my existing master account itself. So this is going to be reducing the parts where you are going to be giving all your billing details and things like that. Okay, so all these things will be covered in your AWS advanced course. Okay, so here AWS white papers are readily available to you in Amazon Web Services console. Okay, where you will have enormous support, guys. You have so much support for your white papers, where all the advancements, like if there is a new technology or new utility that is added into the AWS console, AWS, the platform, they are going to be you will have a white paper that is published. Okay, all the technical research and reference materials will be available to you with the exact perfect Amazon provided technical diagrams for those utilities. Okay, so you can use that. So you can just go in for searching AWS white papers in Google. You would be able to have access to all the white papers. Every single service, whatever doubts you have, you would be able to use your AWS white papers. And then, yeah, so we have come to the end of our AWS Essentials session. So you would be able to, so at during this 2 weeks course, we have gone through a lot of terminologies and technologies. Okay, so here you would have been equipped with the knowledge of how to deploy web applications on EC2 Windows instance, on Linux instance, and then how to implement an elastic load balancer, and also managing AWS organization. So you have successfully completed all these hands-on modules, and then we have had an extensive discussion of the S3 buckets, and then the different tires, and the life cycle policy, how you are going to be managing all the objects inside your buckets. Okay, setting a life cycle policy for different objects inside your buckets. And then we have discussed many concepts of the virtual private cloud, and then identity and access management, and we discussed a lot about DNS and content delivery network. Okay, and then we have also discussed about the different monitoring, configuring, and auditing and alert tools as well. And then we have talked about the DynamoDB, which is your NoSQL database, and then your SQL database, and then in memory caching service, which is your Elasticache with Redis or Memcached. And then we were talking about serverless computing that is offered by Lambda. And then we moved into AWS organizations, where we have seen a high level management of different accounts from your master account, and then the different pricing support plans. Okay, guys. So yes, again, just want to give you an information regarding our AWS architecting core AWS services, so which is our at AWS advanced curriculum. Okay, so you will be covering 30 plus advanced labs. Okay, so every single utility that we have discussed theoretically in AWS essentially will be given extensive hands-on implementation or support in your architecting core AWS services. And then you would be given hands-on lab with your DevOps environment, where you will be working with your version control, Git, Jenkins, Docker. Okay, and you will be having a lot of ideas that are given in terms of SDLC concepts. And then we'll be discussing a lot about Linux system administration as well. Okay, and then yeah, I will be there to personally assist you when you face a problem with implementations. Okay, so your questions and your doubts would be clarified, and you would be able to have support when you are doing your implementations. inside your AWS console. And this program is going to be a dual certification program, where you will have, you will be issued with two certificates. One is architecting core AWS services and a DevOps practitioner certificate. Okay, so you will have a dual certification that is issued once you complete this program. Okay, so more details about this program will be communicated to you by mail. Okay, so keep checking our website for the same. And also, you will receive a mail notification regarding. And also, we'll be going live on August 28th, that is this Friday. Okay, so we'll be going live on August 28th, Friday, when you start the exam. Okay, so at that time also, we'll be giving you how information about how this advanced program is going to be helping you in your career, and the different features of this program. All these things, all these concepts, you can look forward to us in our Friday session. And regarding your exam, you're going to be having your exam on August 28th. Okay, that is this Friday morning, 11 o'clock to 8 p.m. We are open for, the link will be open for you to take the exam. Okay, so we will be available to assist you from 11 a.m. Probably we'll be with you for like 1 hour or 2 hours. Okay, so you can ask your doubts during that time, not the doubts with the questions, guys. Okay, so any other questions that you might have regarding the exams or your advanced course and things like that, will be there for assisting you. Just give me a minute, guys. Okay, so here, and again, the deadlines for submitting your assignment, it is going to be tomorrow. That is, what is the date today? Yes, guys, 23rd August. So it's going to be 24th August, tomorrow, 5 p.m. So that's your deadline for submitting your project 3. Okay, so your project is on elastic load balancing. So you're supposed to complete that project and submit it before 5 p.m. I know many of you have asked if we can support you with, extending the dates. I'll try if it is possible, maybe in hours, at least, if not 5, maybe a little, many more. I mean, a couple of hours ahead of that. Okay, so we'll try from our end. Okay, so yeah, but then make sure you finish it before that and submit your assignment. And also, guys, make sure you are submitting the assignment and also your attendance. Okay, all these links will be available there in your description box. Make sure you sign your attendance as well. Make sure you submit all your assignments. All the 3 projects has to be submitted. Once you've done this, you will receive a mail with all your exam login credentials, your user ID, password, everything will be communicated to you, and then you would be able to log into the exam portal, and then you would be able to take up your exam. So watch the videos again, and then you prepare properly for the exam and then appear for the exam, because I know many people have sincerely been through us in this particular journey of 2 weeks. And so prepare well and then attempt the exam. Okay, guys, so that has to be done from your end. So please prepare well and then attempt this exam. Okay, so I make maybe I can take 1 or 2 questions. It's a quiz, but then you should know all the concepts, whatever we have covered. You should be able to understand all the concepts, only then you would be able to answer the questions, guys. 28th, I'm repeating again, 28th Friday, you will have your exam. You can take your exams from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. 24th is your assignment submission. The deadline date, I mean time as of now, is 5 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, for your project 3 submission. Okay, then any other questions? All the other informations will be conveyed to you, with through mail. Okay. Thank you, guys. So Kiran, yeah, very beneficial. Thank you very much. I'm really happy to know you guys have benefited from the session. Okay, so yeah, you will have access to the PPT. You will have access to all the materials. The entire playlist will be available in the description box below. You can watch all my videos. Okay, and yeah, we'll be again meeting you on Friday, 11 a.m. to discuss more about the career support and the different paths that AWS can offer you with, and the more features about your architecting core AWS services. Okay, guys, so stay tuned with us, and we'll be supporting you through your cloud journey. Okay, guys, thank you, guys. See you all on Friday.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone, for attending the lecture.
Thank you, guys.